Adam has arrived.
Hey, Maurice and Odie gonna take over like Zach and Cody. Black and Snerdy is the best podcast. Gonna boom like Wile E. Coyote. Gonna meet magic, they move like they hairy. Ain't talking about mental health, no, it's not scary. And notice she coming up with the astrology. Mo got a comic and that's the best policy. Maurice the goat, talking about animation cause you know. Odie, she moving wavy like the boat. Watching some movies and she taking notes. Yeah, kick back, listen. Black and Snerdy have risen. Upload on a mission. 5 stars, never dissing. Black and Snerdy, ooh. Black and Snerdy, yeah. Black and Snerdy.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Black and Snerdy podcast, the only podcast where two sexy black nerds get together and shoot the shit. I, of course, am Mo, aka Kid Licorish.
And I'm Odie.
And together we are the aforementioned Snerds here on episode 124 of the Black and Snerdy podcast. It is funny that we've gotten as far as we have, but that's the button that I meant to hit. How are you doing?
Feeling pretty crappy. It's terrible, but you know, here we are.
Any particular reason, or it's just
my period.
one of those days?
No, it's because I'm on my period and it's terrible.
Well, you know that's what that song is about, right?
You know what? I
just want to be all alone. Yeah, it's just one of those days.
It is. It is just one of those days.
One of those 4 out of 5 days that come and
5 to 7
knock you off your feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
I'm doing okay. It's it's a little late night that we're doing this. Oh, I didn't tell you. Jey Uso won the Intercontinental Championship.
Against who?
Against Braun Breaker.
Wow! Congratulations.
His first championship as a singles competitor.
Oh, I love you. Go! Congratulations, Oos.
Yes, main event Jey Uso. Shall we take it down?
Oh, but how are you doing? You didn't say.
Yeah, I did. I said I'm oh, well, maybe I didn't. I'm doing okay mostly. It's a busy week at work.
Yeah.
There's some stuff that's coming up. We have a we have a team meeting that's coming up, so we have a group project. We ran into some staffing difficulties today that had to be taken care of. My co-worker managed to give me one of those soft chew outs, just like, hey, just to let you know you forgot to do a thing. And and I'm like, I was busy doing other stuff, but it's fine. It was a very soft one, but it's okay. So otherwise, I'm doing well.
Good.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah. So with that in mind, shall we take it down a bit to a somber take? Oh no, I did not do the banners. It's okay. I'll do them right now. Shall we take it down a somber tone and just do some remembering? We're
gonna remember those who have left us.
Yes, with our RIP section. And this week, unfortunately, we lost a legendary musician in the form of Tito Jackson.
Yes. Tito, he, of course, was in the Jackson 5. One of the reasons the Jackson 5 even came to be, he was a guitarist, he sang. I want to say he put out an album in the 80s. But he passed away last week at 70 years old. Very still young. Apparently, it was alleged that he had been dealing with some health issues and may have had a heart attack while he was driving through Mexico. But I saw this really cute video of I think it was Marlon talking to his sister, Janet Jackson, that from his documentary.
Yes, and I will play that right now.
Underneath your father's bed, he had a guitar. When your father would go to work, Tito would sneak and play his guitar.
That's what I heard.
Yeah.
I'm Tito. That's spelled T-I-T-O. The initial stands for the totally, incredibly talented one.
One day he broke a string, popped a string. When your father came home, he asked Mom, he says, who broke my string? And she says, well, before you get upset at Tito, you should hear him play. He said, he's better than you.
That's what she told him?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm playing and crying, and that's when he looked at my mom and said, he's really trying to play this thing.
She says, and the other ones have been singing and making harmony. She goes, there's something going on here.
My mother saw the talent, but it was my father that was smart enough to say, they've got to show this to the world. He saw that as our way out.
I was always upset because Joe didn't want to add on to the house because he spent all the money on instruments for the boys.
We would be rehearsing and the neighbors be telling us to be quiet, making all that noise over there. You ain't going nowhere. And we say, just wait and see, you'll see.
Yeah, so that's I didn't realize that Tito had a documentary or was a part of a doc. It makes sense. But he will be missed. It's, how do I say this? I don't want to be rude, but it's interesting to me that he only the second Jackson to pass after Michael?
No, I believe that they might have had a sibling that passed. I think one of the daughters, one of their sisters passed away some years ago.
Okay, all right, but I guess I mostly meant of like the Jackson 5.
Yes, he's outside of Michael. He's the other one that passed.
Yeah. Okay.
But I feel bad for their family, of course, losing Michael, now losing their brother. I'm sure that they're having a really rough time. So sending our love to the Jackson family and all the friends and people who knew him.
Yes, agreed. So RIP, rest in power, rest in peace to Tito Jackson. Now, with that being said, would you like to slide, whether it be electric or not, into our pop culture section?
Yes, please.
All right.
When you want a hot meal without a big deal, what are you gonna pick?
Pop topics. All right, where are we starting?
Well, there's been, of course, there's so many shenanigans. Kicking it off with Janet Jackson. She's been in some controversy this week regarding some comments she may have made about vice presidential candidate Kamala Harris, and I allegedly questioning what her race is. But I wanted to talk to her about Eve's new book, her memoir that came out called "Who's That Girl?" And in it, Eve reveals that at a 2007 VMA after party that she believes she was drugged after leaving her drink unattended.
Oh no!
And she said, "Missy came in to check on me, but I was unable to collect myself. Then who walks in? Janet Jackson. I had never met her before, and so her first introduction to me was seeing me hysterical. None of that mattered to Janet. She actually just sprang into action, told people to get aspirin, water, hot sauce, and a piece of white bread. That concoction knocked me right out of my hysteria. So basically, Janet Jackson saved my life." And I mean, that was, when I saw that passage, I was like, you know what? There are so many people that we're hearing about right now who have done terrible things to other folks in the industry, who weren't protecting people. And it's nice to know that there are people who would be looking out for others, other women looking out for women. We already know that Missy Elliott is an angel, but it's nice to know that Janet Jackson was also there, supporting people, because she didn't have to. She could have just been like, not my monkey, not my circus, and went on about her day.
Is that a saying?
Yeah.
Not My Monkey, Not My Circus?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
I've
like
never
you
heard
don't
of that.
I don't need to pay attention to that because it has nothing to do with me.
Sure. Okay.
My name's Bennett and I ain't in
yeah, I've heard of that one before. My name's
Um,
Bennett, I'm not in it.
but I'm looking for. I want to read Eve's memoir. She talks about.
I'm surprised it's taken as long as it has for her to come out with a memoir.
Yeah, I feel like it must have came out within the last year or two.
Okay, yeah, because like like she hasn't been in the limelight for a while. I think the last thing she did was be a part of that awful Queens show.
What was it? Was it called Queens or?
It was called Queens.
Okay,
but the yeah, they were the group on the show was called Nasty Girls or something like that.
But yeah, because she married that wealthy race car driver or race car owner in Europe. She has a child that she just had last year or maybe 2 years ago. So she's been very busy and she doesn't really have to come out and do work or make songs or whatever because
she doesn't have to pop out.
Taken care of. So I feel like now she's only doing things that are interesting to her.
Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to this memoir all about Eve because I feel like one, like you said, Eve is such an iconic figure in hip-hop.
She's a legend.
She's definitely a legend, and we need to know more about the first lady of the Rough Riders. So,
you know what I hope?
What?
I hope from reading her memoir that it blows my mind.
I'm sure that
it will. Okay, what's next?
Well, you would know something that blew my mind.
What's up?
All of the beautiful Black people who won Emmy Awards last week. You want to pull up the picture?
Sure. 1 second.
So last episode we talked about the Emmys because it was happening while we were recording, and we did mention some of the winners. But here's a list of all the Black 2024 Emmy winners: Angela Bassett, the icon; Micaela Cole, the amazing one; Lisa Colon-Zayas; Eric Andre; Lamorne Morris, and Maya Rudolph. So
I'm curious what Eric Andre won for.
I wonder if it was his TV show.
And Micaela
Cole.
Yeah, Micaela Cole.
She was in.
Because the last thing I saw her in was in You Can't Destroy. I Will Destroy You. Yeah.
Yeah. She played a on a TV series, and that is where she got her award from. It was, oh gosh, hold on. She won for, what was it? Dang it, hold on. I'll cut some of this out.
Okay.
Because she was doing a show. Micaela Cole. Oh, I'm hot. Emmy.
What was that?
Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Okay. So she was Micaela Cole starred as Bev in Mr. and Mrs. Smith, the Amazon show.
Yeah, with Donald Glover.
Yeah, I've heard that they've done well. I was definitely confused when they announced who was going to be playing that, but I am.
And he's not coming back for a second season. Like, apparently the show got greenlit for a second season and he's not coming back for it.
Oh, well,
which I don't understand how you could have a Mr. and Mrs. Smith without
the Mr. Smith.
Yeah.
Well,
so
hey.
I mean, he's busy. He's busy.
Oh, you still have the RIP.
Oh crap. Okay.
Yeah, well, congratulations to all of them. Also, we have some congratulations for some other Black actresses. Issa Rae, Tracee Ellis Ross, and Rashida Jones are going to join the cast of Netflix's. Wait, hold on. Do you need to?
No.
Okay. So more congratulations are in order because Issa Rae, Tracee Ellis Ross, and Rashida Jones are joining Netflix's Black Mirror for season 7.
Me and Mrs. Jones.
Um,
We got a thing going on. You think our husband says that all the time?
probably to annoy her.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. I always love when we have another Black Mirror episode, although it always feels like we're currently in one right now.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm looking forward to it and seeing what they can come up with that's weirder than what we're currently living in.
They're supposed to be doing a sequel to the USS Callister episode,
okay.
which, if you recall, spoiler alert, it ended off with Jesse Plemons' character being
sucked into that world.
Yeah. And the rest of the clones being like going off into like the new frontier. So that would be cool.
It was good.
It'd be cool to like figure out what happened.
I wonder if Michaela Cole would come back.
She was in that episode, wasn't she?
Yeah.
Yes.
I love her. She's a great actress. A lot of great British actors and actresses have been in Black Mirror.
Yeah.
That's where I feel like I met.
That's where I met. What's his face? Who was in Black Panther and Get Out and
that's who I'm thinking of. Oh my god.
Wow. Not John Boyega.
No.
His name is. We are old. This is how you know that we're old when we're like, who's that man in that one thing?
Daniel Kaluuya.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I love him. So I don't even know how that happened, but whatever.
Kaluuya, Jamaica. Ooh, I wanna take you. Okay, sorry.
Okay.
I'm feeling musical today.
You are. You're always pretty musical.
Not always. Sometimes I'm in a mood.
Yes, that's true. All right. So more Black Hollywood. Congratulations to the cast of Abbott Elementary.
Mm-hmm.
There have been some huge pay bumps for this next season. Quinta Brunson will be getting between $350,000 to $400,000 per episode.
Yeah.
Shirley Ralph and Tyler James Williams will get $250,000. Janelle James, Lisa Ann Walter, and Chris Perfetti will get $200,000 per episode. And William Stanford Davis, our beloved janitor, will get $100,000 per episode.
Now, it makes sense to me that Quinta would get the most because she's the creator of the series as well as the lead character.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit surprised that Janelle James is only getting $200 and not $250.
I'm not surprised.
She's like one of the breakout stars of that show.
Yeah, but I think that if I were to have said anybody in that lineup to get the $250, I would have said Lisa Ann Walter because she has a longer standing career compared to Janelle James.
Fair enough.
Even with that, Janelle James is still kind of like a breakout star. She's only been in like in shows.
She's been in a handful of projects. Like I feel like the most that I've seen her outside of Abbott Elementary and all of her various stand-up appearances is on Harley Quinn and Kite Man Hell Yeah.
Yes, that's because I was going to say she's doing some voice acting.
Yeah.
So I think she just has a newer. She's a newer actress. So to me, listen, I would take $200,000 per episode tomorrow.
I would take all this money. First off,
$50,000.
Shout out to William Stanford Davis. The man has been working for a long time, and now he is on the come up. $100,000 per episode. Now, granted, as a sort of tertiary character, he doesn't appear in every episode. Yeah. But like, even still, like that's still
he could probably bake on at least 3 or 4 episodes. If they have a
season,
if they have an 8 episode season, he's gonna at least get half.
Yeah, but yeah, I was gonna say like the standard season is about like 20 to 24 episodes.
You're right.
So if he's in half of those, like he's making a cool milli.
Yeah, and honestly, good for him.
Good for him.
That is a reminder to everybody. Sometimes you're working really hard on things. You're not getting a lot of traction. It feels like, what's the point? I'm just like talking to myself, and the next thing you know, here you are. Like, you can never cash yourself out. You just have to believe in yourself, believe in your talent, and keep going, because everybody is going to get what they deserve in the time that it should come.
You know, tomorrow will bring a better you, a better me. You know, that will show this world all that we can bring. Never give up. Give up on your dreams. You got to get up, get out, get into it, get it on to be strong. We try to find. I should have just sang the thing. Why did I?
What song are you singing?
Tomorrow by oh my goodness. Eye to Eye Guy.
Oh, by Tevin Campbell?
Yeah, Tevin Campbell. You don't know the song?
Mm-mm.
Ooh, really? This is interesting. You
Sing it again.
I know tomorrow will bring a better you, better me. And I will show this world of my dreams. And I'll never give up. Every it may come. And I'll get up, get on, get into it. Tomorrow? Really? Nothing?
No.
Nothing for tomorrow.
No, let me hear it.
All right, hold on.
Is it gonna play on the?
Yeah, it is gonna. It's gonna play on the It's gonna play on the audio for our audio listeners. Sorry, video listeners, but you are asked out.
Oh, it's baby Tevin Campbell.
Yeah, this is Tevin Campbell's like first song.
Oh, this song. Okay, all right, I know it.
Because I'm about to say, like, how do you not know that?
No, I know that one.
Okay, well, anyhow, congratulations to the cast of Abbott Elementary. Y'all are doing great work, and I'm looking forward to season 4, which is coming out in October.
Yep.
It's crazy how it's already been 3 seasons.
I know. I can't wait. I hope they have a good long arc. Do you think they'll go to 6 seasons?
I think they'll go to 6 seasons and then end it.
I think 6 seasons is fine. 6 to 7 seasons, as long as they get the 100 episodes, they get the syndication. That's all I care about.
Community rule: 6 seasons in a movie.
Oh yes, please, 6 seasons. Did Community do a movie?
They're working on a movie now.
Still?
Yeah.
All right.
What do you mean still?
Gambino?
Yes, he's gonna be in it. The only one who's not gonna be in this Chevy Chase, because Chevy Chase is a dick.
Yes, I do remember that. Well, some more shows that are coming out next year in 2025. The Last of Us season 2.
That's what that was. I was trying to figure out what it was on the board, but I have it right here. The Last of Us. This second, so I think this is gonna be, if it's following the video games, it's only gonna be like 2 seasons.
You think so?
Yeah, because
well, how many video games is it?
2. There's only 2 video games.
Well, they could still go. I mean,
they covered pretty much the first video game in the first season.
So they could do the Game of Thrones thing, just write their own after the second season.
Not likely.
Well, we'll see. I mean,
if we're just talking about what the story is dictating, as far as like trying to keep it as close to the source material as possible,
yeah,
it doesn't seem likely that there would be more than 2 seasons.
All right. Well, you're the expert. I've never played the game. I will look up spoilers so that I can watch the episode in peace.
A little bit of, a little bit of insight into me. I am terrified and I get anxiety when it comes to like survivor horror games.
Yeah.
That's why I never liked the Resident Evil games. I never liked the Silent Hill games. I never liked even Splinter Cell. That's not horror, but it's like stealth. Like you have to be very stealthy in order to play those, a Hitman and whatever like that. I'm loud and brash.
Yes, you could not be a spy.
I know you love saying that. But I did play some of The Last of Us. I made it through maybe a good quarter of the first game. and it was just too nerve-wracking to continue to play.
I mean, it's too nerve-wracking to watch. So I'm looking forward to reading and watching all the spoilers.
Well, no, we're watching it together.
Yeah, we're gonna watch it together.
We're gonna watch it together with the lights off.
No, we're not.
Yes, we are.
I'm gonna
It's
watch
gonna be
the
completely
spoilers ahead of time, just like the way that I watched the spoiler for Sam and his brother. Well, you watched it and I listened to it.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Like, so I was going through the video game recap of like the story analysis, and I forgot that you were like in the vicinity listening to it, and I didn't put two and two together that like, oh man, maybe I shouldn't be playing this because it's gonna spoil this sad ass story of these two brothers.
I was still sad. I still was horrified.
Actually, the way the show did it was even worse because in the video game he wasn't deaf. And the older both were a little bit older. Yeah. I think like in the show, in the game, the brother was like in his early 20s.
Yeah.
Whereas in the show, the older brother is like maybe a teenager, maybe a mid to late teenager.
Yeah, the oldest he could have been was like maybe 20.
Yeah.
And then of course his like 10, 11-year-old little brother. So that just the whole season stressed me out. But
let's watch it again.
I do hope that we get some stories. Oh gosh, what's his name? Ron from Parks and Rec.
Oh, in the show, what's his name?
Yeah, do you remember? You remember the?
I remember him. Well, no, he was dead. Remember?
Ron from Parks and Rec.
Yeah, he's dead on the show.
I know, but he had that whole story arc.
Yeah, yes, he did have that story arc with him, and it was like not Bill and Ted, but like it was like Bill and somebody else. One of the best episodes.
I would like them to have some like that where it's like, yeah, there's a lot going on, but
I'm surprised Last of Us didn't pick up any Emmy nominations or Emmy wins.
Yeah, that's true. Last of Us and Habit both were really good and deserved them. Yeah. All right, well, I'm looking forward to it. I'm gonna have to spoil myself because it's definitely going to be a stressful time.
Spoil yourself. Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to. All right, so let's talk about some workers' rights with one of our favorite animators, Pixar.
Yes, Pixar.
So I'm getting this from I saw a Discussing Film tweeted out an article from IGN that apparently Inside Out 2 animators have been dealing with a labor issue with the Pixar people, that there were a bunch laid off, and so laid off employees were apparently asked not to come to the office to pick up belongings, so remaining employees didn't feel awkward. One former employee said, "We were told the day we were laid off that the bonus is only for active employees only." And then another one pointed out the irony of working on a movie about mental health only to have their health insurance stripped away. It's very sad, obviously, because you know how we love Inside Out too.
Yes.
The whole Inside Out franchise. The movie made so much money.
It actually
1.6 billion at the worldwide box office.
It's actually the highest grossing animated movie of all time now, which thank goodness that it knocked the last movie out, which was The Lion King, the CGI remake.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
they said from the article, it says that many of the workers behind Inside Out 2 and its record-shattering success feel like it's bittersweet. The studio began layoffs affecting 175 workers, or 4% of its staff, in May. And not only are laid off employees unable to benefit from a bonus for Inside Out 2's success, some are also recovering from what several sources described as an unprecedented crunch surrounding Inside Out 2. One of the sources said, I think for a month or two, the animators were working 7 days a week, ridiculous amounts of production workers, just people being tossed into jobs they'd never really done before. It was horrendous. I mean,
I'm so glad that I don't work in industries where crunch is a thing. Although an argument could be made that my industry has its own version of crunch.
I think everybody has their own version of crunch. It's just that, like, it's really disgusting that any huge corporation can get all this money from people's hard work and still not give them the respect enough to just like pay them fairly, like, and equitably. And okay, you had to lay me off, but like I still worked on this film. You made a whole bunch of money, and now it's just kind of like fuck you. So I hope they sue, get it, whatever lawsuit, civil case, or whatever. Get your money.
Yes, get your money.
Get your money, honey.
But I mean, a lot of those workers will, like, because this is such a creative field and the animation is in high demand right now, like a lot of them will end up landing on their feet. It's still upsetting that Pixar laid off this many people and won't give them bonuses.
I feel like in Europe, you can't just like lay people off. Like they get paid less than we do, but they have better employee rights.
Sure.
So like, I don't think that if you are working for a like company like this, like a record label, a film company, that you should not be entitled to the money that they're making off of something that you worked on.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you should still be getting some sort of payment. And I think if people were getting treated fairly in that aspect, you wouldn't have these like exposés coming out about these companies all the time. But people are greedy, and they're gonna do what they want.
Yeah, they are.
All
right.
Next up in
What's up?
entertainment news, we have a new cast member for the live action One Piece season 2. Joe Manganiello. You know him from True Blood. He was a werewolf, and he's very attractive. He's been in the
Joe Manganiello.
Manganiello?
Yeah.
Good. I couldn't pronounce it. He is being cast as Mr. O or Mr. Zero in One Piece season 2.
Crocodile.
Oh, that's Crocodile. Crocodile's the one that has the sand.
Yes, the sand power.
I'm curious how they're gonna do that. He also is a good I think he has like a good physique. He's attractive. I could see him being the Mr. Zero.
Yeah, me too. It's gonna be season 2 is gonna be very interesting because, like, if it's following the pattern of One Piece correctly, they should be doing Drum Island and Alabasta, which, if you remember, because we watched it so long ago, introduces Chopper and introduces Vivi. There's also that little mini arc in there with the giants.
Yeah.
I get the sense that they're probably not going to have giants on the show.
I hope
on the live
action.
action.
I love the Elbaf.
Yeah.
Folks. So I
Me
hope
too.
they can.
Me too. But
I'm curious how they would even do it, though.
I don't know. I look, if One Piece live action is gonna cut some things, then I'm okay with them cutting stuff about the giants.
Yeah, but I feel like they can't cut the things about the giants if they're going to be talking about the arc where they go to the big prison and like the giants are helping them and all that stuff.
Oh, you mean Ivankov? Ivankov wasn't a giant.
No, but remember the
Ivankov
giants
was just a because it's so weird. I love One Piece so much, but One Piece is so weird in that, like, they have very, very, very tall humans who aren't considered giants.
Yeah.
And then they actually have giants.
But I'm talking about the giants that were working at that prison. Remember, they like changed loyalties and started working with because they didn't realize that the LWAP giants were still alive. They thought they had...
wait, but that wasn't in Impel Down though. That
wasn't Impel Down.
That was
when they were fighting the like world government.
That was Water 7 and that was during the Water 7.
So that would be considered season 2, right? Or no?
No, that's you mean for the live action or for the live action? No, we're nowhere near.
No, okay.
Like I think we would be 2 to 3 live action seasons away from Water 7.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
The timelines are kind of, because we've watched so much of it, the timelines are kind of like all over the place for me, but makes sense. All right.
Yeah.
So before,
and every character is important, so you gotta pay attention.
All right, so let's give an update.
That was awful.
Well, sorry.
Sorry, not sorry, or just actually sorry?
No, I'm actually sorry that you had to smell that.
Anyhow, where are we next?
All right, so we're going to have an update on the Shits and Gigs post. If y'all didn't listen to the last episode, the Shits and Gigs podcast hosted by James and Fuad, they got into a bit of trouble on the internet because they were on Andrew Schultz's podcast, and Andrew Schultz was, of course, doing his usual offensive, racist, sexist, etc. jokes, targeting Black women, and they didn't do or say anything. They just kind of chuckled it up. And then, of course, they were getting dragged because the people who made them famous are Black women. And then they were like, you know what? We have to just fall on our sword. And we're going to put out a apology video, which they did, and which was subsequently laughed at by Andrew Schultz. You can just play a little clip of it.
Of the Andrew Schultz or the apology?
Andrew Schultz. Because it has some of the apology in there.
Okay, here we go.
Okay. And it is definitely not cool to be in that situation. And again, not be the ones to stand up and kick the cameras down. And we fucked it on that occasion.
We did.
It's not going to happen again. And it's about being human. It's about realizing that you don't know what you're prepared for. You don't know how to prepare for something
you don't know
that you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And once it's happened one time, you're like,
Pause.
right.
You know what's mad funny about this? Is that they had shit that they asked to take out the episode. You know what they didn't ask to take out?
Your racist slander. Why is your nose twitching?
They had shit. Their producer, whatever, was like, "Hey, we really think that's inappropriate. We'd like to take that out. That's very uncomfortable." Their fight and flight instinct really kicked in after the power down. But with that joke about the Black women, nothing really seemed. The fight or flight wasn't really there.
Your delivery was too good. I think
maybe they were seduced by the delivery.
Yeah,
I like them. I feel bad they're going through this, but you don't got to protect anybody. That's what I would say.
I
to
like
y'all
them too.
Personally, to y'all publicly, you don't got to protect. Your people are equal. What are you talking about?
Okay, let's listen to the end of the apology.
So, after that debacle, it seems that Shits and Gigs has deleted the apology and also the first 100 episodes of their show from audio platforms and YouTube, which I'm not sure why. I'm thinking it's because people were going back in old episodes, like old episodes.
That's what people usually do. Like people use I mean, God forbid we get to a point where we have a big enough followership that people go back and listen to the shit that I was saying about Lil Nas X and lusting over him or some bullshit. Like, and
well, now they're going to because you reminded them.
You remind me that you used to lust after that person. Anyhow, but no. So like, no, like, I mean, like a lot of it's happening. I know that we're gonna get to Diddy now, but it's happening with Diddy where like people are re-examining a lot of his older interviews and materials
because
and
everything
stuff
looks
like that.
different after this.
Yeah, everything looks different in hindsight.
Yeah,
you know.
And maybe the thing is, it's like I think that you should never delete the things you said because I think it's not about you said this whatever, how many years ago, but like, what are you thinking now? What are you doing now? Have you grown? Because it's like, if you were to look on anyone's social media, a lot of times, like we've had Facebook since we were in like high school, college. You might find something that I said on there from 10 years ago and it might be terrible. I honestly, I could not know. I know that I've seen some memories where I've said things that I would be horrified to say now because I just didn't know better at the time. And I would hope that I would have that as a reminder of like my growth. But I don't think you should delete things. Just leave it up. If you've said something negative in the past, it's about like, okay, you said that, like, where are you now? And deleting it doesn't do anything but make you look really guilty. And it's like, if you have been doing some misogynoir, stand in it and apologize and be like, you know what? I'm going to do better. I'm going to learn from this and I'm going to grow from this. I'm not going to try to hide it because you're people. We're all people and we're allowed to grow. But I think that Black men need to really like reevaluate their lives, because just like when we were talking about James Earl Jones and the various videos that have come out about him over the years, saying negative things about Black women, you cannot get away with having these terrible opinions and letting people shit on the folks who have gotten you where you are and expect that no one's going to talk about it. And so that you have to interrogate your own self, be like, what do I need to do differently so that I'm not getting caught up?
Sure.
Well, speaking of getting caught up. So have you heard about this North Carolina governor candidate who was talking about being a Black Nazi?
You mean the Black Nazi?
Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson of North Carolina, who also is the Republican nominee and is also the man that Trump is trying to get elected so that he will give him the votes for the Electoral College, has gone under fire because apparently they have found a long history of him making gross, disgusting remarks about, like I said, being a Black Nazi, saying that he thought slavery was okay. Apparently, the CNN article talked about old comments that he reportedly made on a website called Nude Africa, which is a porn site that also has a message board. Apparently Robinson described himself as a perv but he said he liked trans on girl porn. In a video last Thursday, he said, "Let me reassure you, the things that you will see in that story, these are not the words of Mark Robinson."
Is his name Mark Robinson?
Yeah, that's his name.
All right. Well, first off, Mark Robinson, the Black Nazi. It's always funny to me whenever I hear about like a white KKK member, a Black KKK member or a Black Nazi or even a Black Republican. Like anybody who has been brainwashed into going against their own ilk or their own creed or their own kind, their own interests. It's funny to me. I find it extremely hilarious. I don't take it seriously. That he is in some form of government already and that he has some form of power tells me that this country is stupid.
Trump said
this country is a dumb country.
Listen, Trump said that
a Black Nazi holds office.
Trump said that he's the
or is he running for
he's
office?
the best man since Martin Luther King. He is currently lieutenant governor, but he's also running to be governor. I'm not surprised by any of this. There are plenty of Black people, Hispanic people, Asian, Arab, etc., across the board, non-white folks who will they ascribe to whiteness because they think it's going to protect them and give them some kind of, coverage when shit goes south. But that's just never how it is. Like you could pretend to be as white as you want to be. and you're still not going to get anything that you believe that white people have. You're just going to piss off the folks who could be supporting you, and then you're going to reap the benefits of that. And, hopefully that means he's going to lose this election because we need it, but I'm not surprised. I mean, and all those conservative white folks I was watching, they went to a Trump rally in North Carolina, and he was talking to what's his name? Not Tim Scott. Mark Robinson was not there. Trump never even mentioned his name. And when they were talking to the conservatives there, they were like, "Yeah, he's a bad look on the party." Because it's like, you could be a white man.
He's a bad look on the party.
You could be a white man like Trump and do all this bullshit, but you can't be a black man and do all this bullshit. And Trump's just gonna either.
And that's where we need equal opportunity. If you're going to be a stain on America, we need black men to be stains. I don't know.
To be a stain on America as well.
I couldn't even say that with a straight face.
Separate but equal.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of stains,
what were you about to say?
I don't even know. But we have some other people who've put their foot in their mouth this week. The editor-in-chief of the National Review.
Guess what he said?
Rich Lowry. He was talking on the Megyn Kelly show, and they were discussing the accusations that Haitian migrants are stealing dogs and cats to eat them. And he was giving his opinion, and people had a little bit of an issue with something that he said during the taping. Now, you can listen to it at whatever speed you like and tell us, what did you hear him say?
Finally, he said something to the effect of, look, if we have to create stories in order to bring attention to what's happening, the media, he admits they made it up, right? As opposed to, and if you listen to the full clip, he says, by drawing attention to what's happening on the ground, it's just, as this line goes online, you don't hate the media enough. Go ahead.
You remember Alternative Facts with Kellyanne? They did the same thing. She wasn't saying you make up fictions and pretend they're facts. You bring other facts to bear in the debate that are being ignored. And that's what he was saying. And I think it was in that interview where Dana Bash says, the police have gone through 11 months of recordings of calls, and they've only found 2 Springfield residents calling to complain about Haitian migrants taking geese from ponds. Only 2 calls. And I think one lesson of this whole story, people don't care about geese. People really hate geese. They all things considered, I think people would prefer Haitian migrants to come and take the geese off the golf course, right? So it's pets, it's the cats and dogs has become the standard. Geese clearly don't.
Nah, he said, first off, Haitian niggers is what he said. He said, he tried to laugh it off. He tried to geese. Geese is, people don't want to do geese with the geese. No. But no, you said Haitian niggers.
So he tweeted out after Andy McCarthy tweeted ridiculous. Rich Lowry obviously got crossed up between immigrants and migrants, started mispronouncing migrants with the short I, instantly corrected himself with no embarrassment because it was patently a mispronunciation. Jeez. So Rich, we quoted that and said, yep, this is exactly what happened. I began to mispronounce the word migrants and caught myself halfway through. Now, Maurice, I would like you to say the word nigger and then say the word migrants and see how closely they.
Oh, I thought he was mixing up migrant and immigrant.
Yeah, I know, but I want to see if migrants and nigger sounding kind of close to each other.
Okay, nigger, migrant.
Just if he was saying I don't even know. There's no word that starts with an N that I almost want to play it again.
Immigrant, migrant. Immigrant, migrant. Immigrant, migrant, nigger. Immigrant, migrant.
Immigrant, migrant, nigger. Immigrant, migrant, nigger. Say that 5 times fast. And just listen.
Side note. This is a side note. Are you capable of saying the N-word with an A?
Nigga. No, it's not a part of my vernacular, and I say it the way that it was intended.
Okay.
Negatively.
Okay.
The vitriol that you feel when you hear me say that word is how it was intended to be
I
said.
wish I had the quote from the drop from Euphoria where it's like some things just cringeworthy. They didn't even have to be deep, I guess.
Well, this was very cringeworthy.
It was cringeworthy.
He of course tried to he and all of his little Republican friends are trying to go and cape for him, Megyn Kelly and all of them. Everyone's just calling it ridiculous. I don't feel like it's ridiculous. I listened to that thing multiple times, multiple different speeds, and what I can tell you is it did not sound nigger and migrants do not sound anything similar. Okay? They do not. And you have to be, it's like when you have autocomplete on your phone and you're typing something out and it comes out too fast. You're typing something that you always type and it corrects it. Okay? It's fine. Just it's a part of your
Admit it. It's a part of your vernacular.
You say
the word.
I'm gonna put up that.
It's okay if you say the. I mean, it's not okay if you say the word.
Remember
it's
that?
Not okay.
That Delroy. I forgot what
Delroy Lindo.
Yeah, the Delroy Lindo. He was in some sort of like TV show, and the newscaster's like, "Well, come black people can say the N word," and I can't. And he's like, "Say it. Just say. I'll say it with you. Say it. That's it. Just say it." So we can at least just be honest. Like I like. The fact that journalists don't want to be honest these days, it's annoying. Like, this is our profession. Like, it's okay. Just say it. Be honest. Say who you are. Just don't have any shame. You could just say it. So the same way with shits and gigs. Say who you are. You could apologize. You can learn something different, whatever the case may be. But just say it. Who cares?
What you say? Do what you say.
Okay.
I'm gonna bring singing back onto this show because it needs it. Anyhow, yeah. So he said the N-word. That's some shit. Oh well. What are you gonna do?
You're not getting fined. They're not gonna stone you. You made a mistake and you said it.
If anything, people will get stoned with you and say it.
Exactly. So why not just allow it to happen?
Yo, you said nigga on the show.
You said it. We heard you.
Anyhow, but what's next?
We have some more news about I was gonna say your favorite pedo, but he's not.
I don't have one.
You don't have one. Yeah, I was gonna be like, no, I don't want to say
and
that.
Also, and to be fair, it's not that he's a pedo, it's that he's a perv. He's a freak.
Yeah.
He's a racketeering freak.
He is a racketeering freak.
Yeah, he's
who likes lots of
this would be an entirely different story if it was children involved.
But we don't know that
or
children
underage.
Well, we do. The court documents have said underage people were being trafficked.
Did it?
Yeah.
How come that's not highlighted anywhere?
I mean, I don't know, but he had there's a 14-page indictment against him. He has 3 counts of racketeering, conspiracy, sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion and transportation to engage in prostitution.
Yeah, like if it was minors, you would think that would be highlighted. That's why I don't think that it's minors.
I think that, I mean, the thing is, if there could have been some minors, but we know at the very least he was the court is alleging that he was drugging people, moving them around. There's also allegations of people he knew bringing people to these events, similar to like Epstein. So, who knows? The U.S. Attorney Damon Williams said that Sean Diddy Combs allegedly forced victims into sometimes days-long sexual performances called freak-offs with male commercial sex workers, some of whom he transported over state lines and often electronically recorded them. Controlled substances were a part of the performances to keep victims obedient and compliant. Okay, so when I think about Diddy, this is I go from Angela Davis to top cop Kamala Harris real quick. Like, as much as I'm an abolitionist, this man, he needs to be locked up. He needs to be taken away from everyday people because he does not have any behavior. He's dangerous. And he would do this again 100% if he had the chance.
I'm still stuck on the fact that they seized 1,000 bottles of baby oil.
Yes.
The police raided him and seized 1,000 bottles of like baby oil is not cheap.
It's not.
And I know that he's a millionaire, billionaire, whatever the fuck he is, but like that's so much money dedicated to lubricant.
Maybe he had some stock in Johnson & Johnson.
And just like how afraid are you that you're going to run out of baby oil? You know what I mean? Like
he was forcing.
That's like me. If I had that kind of money, I would stock up on Pop-Tarts.
Yes.
Because I have an innate fear that like if I had all this money and the one thing that is my favorite thing, I would never want to be without, and that would be Pop-Tarts. That means his favorite thing is baby oil, and he never wants to be without it. That's the only thing that I could think of to explain why he has 1,000 bottles. Remember in Howard?
Yeah.
The 1,000 bottles?
Yeah, homecoming party, yeah.
Imagine that, but with baby oil.
This is the thing, like he was forcing people into days-long sex parties to the point where they would have to get IV drips to rehydrate them. So I don't think that is outside of the realm of possibility of what he was doing. And I'm sure it was even worse than we could even imagine. They're saying he's allegedly on
a watch list.
He is still awaiting trial. He's at the Brooklyn's Metropolitan Detention Center. They are watching him for possible harm so that he doesn't harm himself. And I've been thinking, like, people have been saying, oh, what if this is like an Epstein situation, if he like were to die under mysterious circumstances. And I do not want him to die. One, because he should be held accountable for everything he did and should have to live through that wherever that may be, in prison, whatever the case. Like, he needs to deal with that. But I also hope that he's able to be alive to name the folks who are also there.
Yeah, I want to know who was there. Like,
I mean, the thing is, people keep trying to go through and look through other videos, and they're like, oh, this person was with him at this party, and that person was with him at that party. When it's like, I don't care. Like, you can't take a picture of somebody at a party full of celebrities and be like, oh yeah, this person's also guilty, because you just can't do that. Like, these people are having parties where they're inviting
there's surface level parties and then there's the dungeon parties.
Exactly. And I feel like a lot of people invited to the surface level, they're going to go because they want to either further their career, they want to make networks,
mingle and network,
etc.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
So you can't.
But it's those after party people
that
we want to know about. We want to know who was there in the after party, in the afties, like in the afties and the rafties.
Well, apparently, the people who did the Quiet on the Set, The Dark Side of Kids TV, Maxine Productions, they announced that they are going to be working on a Sean Diddy Combs docuseries. I hope that Farnsworth Bentley is in it, because I know he should have a lot to say.
This is now like the second or third time that you have mentioned Farnsworth Bentley.
Because I know he knows where the bodies are buried.
Do you think he actually knows? That motherfucker was just holding an umbrella. Like, do you think he actually knows?
Think he knows
shit?
I do. Because it's just like he was Diddy's like
because he fucked off like a long time ago.
Why do you think that happened? Why do you think he just fucked off out? The way that he was in music videos, he was having cameos in movies and TV. Like, I think he said, you know what? I have had enough. This is not at all like what I want to be a part of. I'm getting out of here as soon as I can. I'm getting my money and I'm going. And I'm the same way that Cassie, when she left him and got married and all that, people were just like, oh, okay, she's found a new person. But in reality, he had been abusing her for all those years. And then she was finally able to like leave and start her own thing. But I think that Fonzworth Bentley too, whether he was ever assaulted by him or whatever, I think he has seen something. He knows things, and we should hear his side of the story.
All right. Well, if Farnsworth Bentley is not named, but like brought as a witness, I will give you a cookie.
Thank you. I like cookies.
I know you do.
You
like cookies. You like the save imprints on computers. Cookies. You like that dog?
Yes.
Oh, gotta text her.
Yeah. Don't forget about that. Yeah. All right. So more people who have been who are dealing with some legal situations. Amazon and the YouTube star Mr. Beast. So apparently there are 5 unnamed contestants who had signed up for the Beast Games, which was a reality competition show that have alleged that they were subject to chronic mistreatment, sexual harassment, and more. The Beast Games was a reality competition that was ordered by Amazon's Prime Video for 1,000 participants to compete for a single $5 million cash prize. And the suit claims that the Beast Games has a $100 million budget and that they weren't allowing them to go to the bathroom. They weren't feeding them, that they were working more hours than they were being paid. I'm not surprised. We know in these type of shows, even shows like, Love is Blind, afterwards you'll have people who are talking about these very strict contracts that they had to sign. They couldn't just leave, etc. I am curious if they had some sort of stipulation where it said they couldn't leave unless they were going to owe money back. Because I know that happened on Love is Blind. But one of the attorneys for the contestants said, while participants knew upon signing the contract at the production's inception that they were facing a potentially long and challenging competition, they alleged getting a lot more than they bargained for. Several contestants ended up hospitalized, while others reported suffering physical and mental complications while being subjected to chronic mistreatment, degradation, and for the female contestants, hostile working conditions. They're saying that they were deprived of medical care, food and sleep, and the necessities of basic hygiene. The plaintiffs have filed this action using pseudonyms and applying conservative redactions that limit public viewing in a good faith effort to comply with the defendant's overbroad confidentiality provisions, which plaintiffs allege are unenforceable, as well as to preserve the confidentiality and privacy interests of the plaintiffs who wish to avoid I don't even know what this word is. Hold on. Opprobrium? I've never heard this.
Opprobrium.
Look up. It means harsh criticism or censure. So I'm not surprised. I've watched the Mr. Beast, some of his little competition videos. Obviously, Amazon does not have great workers practices. So I would not be surprised.
I wonder how you know.
But I am curious. I'm always curious with these kind of situations. Like, could you not leave? Is it like, and not in a victim blaming space, but like sometimes I know that they'll have like in the contract, so you can't leave or you're going to owe $50,000 or whatever the case may be. So is that the situation, or is it like you just felt so beaten down that you couldn't just be like, you know what, I'm getting out of here? Because I can't imagine being in a situation and staying there longer than I need to, but I'm just very curious, but I hope they get all the money. Listen, Mr. Beast, Amazon, they have enough money to give around, so I hope they get it and leave wealthier than when they came on the show.
Yeah. More power to them for suing. Get that money. Get that money.
Amazon and Mr. Beast are huge corporations. So I personally, I know a lot of folks when I was reading, they were like, why didn't you just leave? Why didn't you do this and that? I don't blame them. Listen, folks are struggling. If you told somebody, oh, it's $5 million, we've watched.
I would do a lot
Games.
for $5 million.
We've watched Squid Games. We know that people will do whatever they can if that means I'm gonna get more money.
And shout out to second season of Squid Games.
It's coming out soon.
The main character, there's no way that the main character is going to survive the next round. No, he's getting killed off in the first 4 episodes in order to raise the stakes.
Yeah.
It's gonna, you know what? Here's what's going to happen. It's going to follow another main character. Mm-hmm. He's going to be like a secondary character that's going to be like, I survived the first Squid Games.
Yeah.
And he's going to get killed off.
My theory is that the main character who won and the police officer whose brother was involved, they're going to somehow team up. And they're gonna crack the case open. And so they may not be involved in the Squid Games, but they're gonna get somebody in there to help them out. But people are desperate, they need money, they're trying to figure out. We've seen throughout television history people doing these type of things to get themselves money, and sometimes it doesn't work out. So we'll see, but I'm very curious how this is all going to play out.
Yeah, me too. I might go back and watch Squid Game again.
It was a good show.
Yeah.
Now, I also heard the Squid Games reality show, the real one they did in real life, where no one was dying. But they also had a lot of complaints, and I think people were suing afterwards for similar things.
Yeah.
So before you go on these shows, I know it sounds fun, it's gonna be great. Really got to read the fine print. You really do, because you never know when you get there how people are going to be doing things, and you don't want to be set up.
Exactly.
So we have video from a Springfield resident who was allegedly one of the people who was complaining. A resident who was allegedly one of the people complaining about the Haitians. Haitian migrants living in Springfield, Ohio, stealing cats of dogs. And when I saw the video, I was definitely very the word is disappointed. Can you play that video?
Sure. Sure.
They're in the park grabbing up ducks by their neck and cutting their head off and walking off with them. And I ain't never seen no fucking cat and dog get ate in my life, and I never fucking said that. I said something about a goose, and somebody told me they see somebody grab a fucking goose up and cut his fucking head off, and that's what the fuck I said. But when you ask me, do I regret it? Hell yeah. And then we got to deal with motherfucking schools getting closed down. We got to deal with motherfucking all the government buildings getting closed down. We got to do interviews at the police station because weird shit is going on. I don't want to deal with that shit.
So, this is to me, is a very clear and present reason for why we need to end all of these diaspora wars, because they will use Black people against other Black people at any chance they can. Clearly, we just talked about the Black Nazi, Mark Robinson. And it's Black people across the diaspora, we owe a debt of gratitude to Haiti for, one, being the first place in the Western Hemisphere to kick out the colonizers and free themselves, and then from that helping the folks across the Americas to free themselves as well, and giving them different tactics and revolt ideas, etc. And the same way that people have been trying to pit us against each other, now they were trying to do that 300 years ago. It's a continued effort of creating division between us, having Black Americans opining on Black non-Americans as these terrible people who are doing crazy things, because I just feel like this is always a ploy to get us from having unity and solidarity, because they know that when they split things up and they tell this person's better than this person, that somebody's going to fall for it. And then we're going to just be here having to deal with the ramifications, which are you've now had school buildings, government buildings shut down, bomb threats. There have allegedly been episodes of people throwing acid on folks. And contrary to popular belief, just because you're American means nothing. If a white person sees a black person on the street, they're not waiting to see whether or not you speak Creole or not before they harass you. So you're going to be putting yourself in the line of fire as well, which is why when folks are not like focused on solidarity and understanding how we're all connected, it grinds my gears. It's very frustrating that this is where we are and people are just like allowing themselves to be what is the word? They're allowing themselves to be misinformed.
Okay. I didn't really have anything for this. Like, I think it's a clear case of regretting what, like, being mindful of what's coming out of your mouth initially, so that you don't have to go back and change up what you said or give extra context and stuff. It's just about being mindful.
Yeah.
Just you're on camera. You know that people in this day and age can chop and screw what you say. Like, just be have intent in what you're trying to say.
And just a reminder that like you have to be really mindful. Well, like what you said, mindful of what you said, of what you say, but that like the us versus them does not support anyone but the people in power. So,
sure.
All right. Are you ready to move into really quickly the things that made us mad?
Things that made us mad.
Bring it. What? Okay. What made you mad this week?
This didn't make me mad.
Okay.
I understand that people believe what they believe, and people are allowed to believe what they believe. I think that sometimes we get super into what we believe, that we allow ourselves to get worked up over. If we step back and looked at it from an objective point of view, it's probably nothing, if that makes sense. But like, we're so wrapped up in this belief and in these things that like it becomes a consuming thing. And
you have what are you explicit? If you're, I'll cut it out if it's something.
No. I don't have an example that I feel comfortable with explaining on microphone. It's just something that I've noticed. It's something that I did notice, and it's something that I can understand how powerful a belief can be. But if we step back and objectively look at it from like just like a divorced, if we divorce ourselves from it, I think that we can gain better perspective.
Okay.
I'm sorry if all of this is like not
very,
very specific and vague.
But, I mean, I'll ask you after we're done.
Sure. And also just Renaissance fairs. Sometimes some of the people who go to these Renaissance fairs stink. Like, they have a specific odor to them.
It's the medieval times. People were smelling.
And I equate the Ren Fair to wrestling fans. Like, in any fandom, please use soap. Please use water. Please use deodorant. Please put some cologne or something on. Something that will mask the smell of funk that I have to
Axe
walk
body,
past.
body spray.
Something. I'll take Axe body spray. But boy, oh boy.
So what made me upset this week were just overall bathrooms. From the Renaissance Fair to the train to just a variety of places. I want people to just be very conscious and mindful when they're going to the bathrooms. Like, if you're on the train and you go to the bathroom, or if you like didn't buy a ticket and you're trying to hide out, do it somewhere else and not the bathroom, because people need to use them.
I realize that how we treat bathrooms might be a cultural thing.
Yeah.
Because in other places, in other countries, like they treat bathrooms like they're the fucking holy grail.
Yeah.
And like they clean them, like they're cleaning them while they're using them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
I think because Americans, like, sometimes I feel like
we're thoughtless. We are thoughtless people.
We're only thinking about ourselves. Like, oh, I'm going to the bathroom, so I'm gonna like spray all over the toilet and wash my hands and put water all over, like, and I'm not gonna wipe it up. That's annoying.
In Japan, they make they make the kids like clean up like their school.
Yeah, like, because you it's your space.
In order to instill in them, like they have outside shoes and inside shoes. Like they make them clean the classrooms and stuff
so
like
that. You know that this is not like
to instill that sense of like
for everybody. This is everybody's space.
Imagine if this country did that.
That would be amazing. That's why it's like that is why just all the various things that have reduced our ability to like integrate different things from different cultures into our society is so frustrating, because it's like no one society is better than the other, but there are plenty of things that you could take from various places and just like incorporate them. Like if you incorporating this belief in children or wherever they are in the world, that like this space, regardless of whether I made the mess or you made the mess, we are living here together. We are in this space together. So we're all going to clean it up like that, regardless of who did it. Like that's so important. And just being mindful of like community living, and like nobody can live without each other. And we don't have that because America is such an individualistic society, and individualism will kill us all. Because when you're only thinking about yourself, you're not trying to like make things better for everyone else just because you're only going to be looking out for how to make things better for yourself before yourself.
Right.
All right. Things that made us happy. I'm the lady merchant. Tots are up.
I got my turkey leg from the Renaissance Fair. I didn't finish it, which I was annoyed about.
But it was a big turkey.
It was
huge.
It was big, and honestly, parts of it you couldn't eat. Like it just.
I feel like with turkey leg, I'm not like a huge turkey leg person. I think I would have preferred to find like
I'm a chicken leg man.
Yeah, there was a place that had chicken legs. I wish I would have gotten that
at the Renaissance Fair.
Yeah, it was. I saw it when we.
What the fuck? Why did I get a turkey leg?
I saw it when we were walking on the
and
other
then
place.
I ended up getting sleepy from that turkey leg.
The fucking turkey. And I think that the difference between turkey and chicken, like when you're roasting it, like chicken, it kind of becomes like softer. Turkey becomes like hard. That was one of the things about
it did become hard. It did become
It's
hard.
like when it's roasted, and I will say, like, now current descendants of those folks from medieval times may not be able to do something out of nothing with the food, but that roasted turkey leg was tasty.
It was. It was delicious.
Roasted,
it was
like
delicious.
Maybe the smoke or whatever. It was tender and all that. It was huge. So I know, like for me, I wouldn't be able to finish that. But I'm like, they did it a lot without having like all these seasonings, because this is pre, what is it called? What was the?
By the way, where were we? By the way, what part
Upstate New York?
Upstate New York. Yeah.
We were upstate New York, and I mean the Ren Fair was fun. That was great. That definitely made me happy. Other things that made me happy were so did you finish all that made you happy?
Yeah, I did. I just wanted to know specifically what part of upstate New York were we in?
I will tell you. We were in Tuxedo Park, New York.
Okay, Tuxedo Park, New York.
Yeah.
Tuxedo Mask.
Right off of New York State Route 17A.
Sometimes anime is just throwing shit at a wall. Tuxedo Mask.
But no, it was fun. I had a great time. I loved everything we saw. I mean, the Renaissance is definitely one of the times in history that, if I was going to say that if I could pick somewhere to live, I could say the Renaissance. Like if you're living,
you want to be called wench a bunch of times?
No, but if I was in like Nigeria or something, like being in Nigeria during the Renaissance would have been a very different type of story. Still,
I'd be curious what that period was.
Well, there was actually this book that I was reading. Let me see if it's called The Daughters of Neri. Yes, it was called The Daughters of Neri, and it's about Nigeria. They're in the time frame. It's Nigeria during like the 14th, 15th century. But like medieval times. So it was very interesting. I feel like we do not learn enough about other parts of the world during the Renaissance era. And I think that if we did, there would be so many more. We would be getting so much more interesting like art and like media, books, TV, whatever from there. But very cool. Also, what made me happy was a video that I put in there, and the title is Happy. And I
don't think I have that.
I uploaded it in there. It should be towards the bottom of the videos. You see something that says Happy.
Oh, this. Okay.
All right, so play that, and you're gonna see why it made me happy. It's ridiculous.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the and the home of the brave?
Okay.
Our flag is the most. It's a basic flag.
It is. Yes, it is. No, it is. This made me happy, not because of obviously the content.
It's people from your home country doing fashion. Is that why?
It was because they were in Ronkonkoma, and you're always making that joke about me being from Ronkonkoma.
You are from
I'm
Ronkonkoma.
not.
You are.
I am not from Ronkonkoma.
Yeah.
But this was the most Long Island Ronkonkoma fashion show that I've ever seen, with the terrible fashions, the terrible singing, the terrible everything. And it just made me laugh.
I will say this, some of what we just saw, there was like maybe 2 or 3 pieces that weren't bad.
Yeah.
The ones that weren't so overtly Trump and MAGA and also like racist and shit. Like there was like that one purple piece that looked pretty good.
Yeah, I could be.
I have to zoom in to see if it has any like MAGA wording on it,
might.
but like it
SWAT
from a far away, it did look okay.
So yeah, that's it. That's what made me happy.
All right. And if that's it, that's everything. So thank y'all for listening to another episode or watching another episode of the Black and Snerdy podcast. We will be back next week. We're gonna have so much work that we need to do for next few weeks.
Well, the next episode, we're going to be talking about the Renaissance Fair.
Yes, we will talk about the Renaissance Fair. We're gonna pop out and we're gonna talk about it. So for that, if that's everything, that's everything. I've been Mo.
And I'm Odie.
And take it easy, keep it sleazy. We will be back next week with more of this. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the show. If you'd like to contact the podcast, you can reach us via email at blackandSnerdyPodcast@gmail.com. You can also find us on Instagram and TikTok at Black and Snerdy Podcast, as well as on Twitter at Black and Snerdy. You can find me, Maurice, on all social media under the handle Licorish is Legit. That's LICORISH is legit.
And you can find me on Instagram. It's that's OD THATSOD.E, and on Twitter, THATSOD_E. And don't forget to like, rate, and subscribe to us. Tune in next time to the Black and Snerdy Podcast, where nerds of a feather flock together.
Remember,
bye.
Boy.
Not yet.
No, this is keeping it. We're keeping this in. Don't forget to take your meds and your subs and drink water. Bye.
Bye.
I actually want to keep that.